Bickley and Marte mornings. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
Torey Lovullo doesn't have to look far to see the warning signs. He's right there in the broadcast booth at Chase Field. His name is Bob Brenly, the only manager/head coach to win a major professional title in Arizona, and the guy who ran out of players in the 2002 All-Star Game, leading to that awful and infamous tie game in Milwaukee. So yes, there are risks, but for the most part, this is a night for Lovullo to bask in glory, to bring his personable and humble vibe to the top step of the midseason classic. Now think about it. What do you remember from All-Star Games past? Not much, I'm guessing, because the game really isn't about moments or victories. It's about the pride you feel watching one of your own standing in the company of greatness. Diamondback fans will feel that way when Ketel Marte leads off the game, and hopefully every time Lovullo gets airtime, because Torey Lovullo has been our manager for 8+ years. He has survived the lean years. He was a central figure in the magical run to a World Series. He is the closest thing we have ever had to a heritage coach, the guy that is steady, full of good vibes, and there year after year after year. Guys like him just don't last and don't happen that often because coaches and managers don't last that long in the modern climate of pro sports. And so here's hoping that he enjoys every moment, pushes every right button, and that this high-profile exhibition game is not as good as it gets for Lovullo in 2024. All right, today's Bickley Blast brought to you by my great friends at Chapman BMW, who make luxury affordable. Find them online at chapmanbmw.com.
I'm so grateful. I want to make sure that I sit here respectfully, check the right boxes, and just hit things on the sweet spot. There's a lot of responsibility. I want to get everybody in the game. I have a lot of anxiety about that, about everybody pitching and playing. They're here to do that and perform on world stage.
That is Torey Lovullo on MLB Network yesterday, talking about what he expects from being.
Even that, admitting all the anxiety he's feeling.
Yeah.
He's wonderfully honest.
Yeah, he is. He'll be the manager for the National League team tonight. He'll also scheduled to join us at 9:30 from Arlington, site of tonight's All-Star Game. You referenced this yesterday. It was a great moment on the broadcast on over the weekend. I think it was on Sunday's game for the Diamondbacks against the Blue Jays. From Bob Brenly said, "Yeah, I gave Torey some advice going into this. Don't tie.
Don't tie." And
Do you remember the criticisms of Major League Baseball? Not only the managers, Joe Torre and Bob Brenly, but Bud Selig got because he ultimately pulled the plug on the game.
Right.
And it was just egg on the face of Major League Baseball.
It was one of those moments where people were like, only this sport. This could only happen to Bud Selig. This could only happen to Major League Baseball. It was one of those moments. And then baseball went in typical fashion and completely overreacted.
Yeah.
To what they called a non-controversy by then awarding the winner of the All-Star Game home field advantage.
It's also funny, though, that they didn't do anything to safeguard it. Like, you would think they would put rules in place now. If it went to the 10th inning, they'd come up with some way, like, even if it's stupid, like a home, you set up one player, a home run derby or something to decide.
No, the manager should have to go out and pitch, is what should happen.
Sure,
right?
But anything like that.
If you run out of pitchers as a manager at an All-Star Game, you should be the one that has to go take the mound.
I mean, they're already in uniform.
That's right. Exactly.
Get out there.
That's a good point. That's fair.
I take it.
But the rule changes. I think if it goes to extra innings, they would start with the ghost runner on second, right? So we're past the point to there's so many pitchers on these rosters. Nobody since 2018, and that was still late in the game, but no pitcher has gone more than an inning in an All-Star game since 2018, and that was
right?
Max Scherzer, yeah.
Is that right?
2 innings used to be kind of the standard for starting pitchers and the first couple relievers. And I'm looking through it.
Sometimes even 3, it felt like they would go one time through the order.
Historically, like 1980, Steve Stone started for the American League All-Stars and pitched 3 shutout innings through 30 pitches. J.R. Richards started for the National League, pitched 2, and then Bob Welch relieved him and went 3. They only used 5 pitchers.
That's wild.
Each team only used 5 pitchers in an All-Star game as recently as 1980. You can't find Major League regular season games now. They only use 5 pitchers.
That's funny. That is wild.
So it's changed. A lot of the pressure is off. But I'm curious, when we talk to Torey, he talks about the anxiety of it, and it's not just internal with him. How much pressure, when you're the manager of Major League Baseball team, a Major League Baseball All-Star team, how much pressure are you getting from your colleagues around baseball? Hey, take it easy on my guy, or if you find an opportunity to not play him,
don't
wink,
play
wink.
him. Yeah. Listen, that's why I look at Torey, and that's why I hope everything goes well for him, because there are landmines and things that can happen that you didn't see coming and all that. And again, this really is the best moments in All-Star Game history, in my opinion, are the ones that have nothing to do with baseball. It was like Randy Johnson throwing behind John Kruk.
Yeah.
That's probably my all-time favorite All-Star Game memory.
On the All-Star Game in Boston, when Ted Williams came out, that was pretty incredible.
Yeah, listen, I was actually on the field that night in Boston when that happened, and I've never felt like baseball was more magical in my life than that night.
Yeah.
When Ted Williams came out on that golf cart, and the current level of players knew exactly the significance of the moment, and they all just kind of gathered around that golf cart. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
That was incredible. That's another one of those memories. People remember Pete Rose
barreling over
Ray Fosse and ending his season, but it's for the
Cal
most
Ripken
part,
hit a home run in his final All-Star game, and they switched spots with A-Rod, remember, to play shortstop.
That's right. That was a cool moment. Yeah. It's stuff like that. That's the stuff that people remember out of this game.
I mean, the Pete Rose thing is such a departure. That was 54 years ago. That was the 1970 All-Star Game.
Yeah.
It's an indication of who Pete Rose was as a player, how much more seriously they took the competition at that time. But later in life, I got a chance to meet Ray Fosse, and he did not like talking about that incident.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, and he was a great broadcaster.
Radio interview?
I did some broadcasting work for the A's during spring training.
Oh, okay.
And he was on the broadcast
So Ray,
team,
what do you think of Pete Rose?
His reaction was a little
chilly.
Because Ray Fosse, I mean, that play affected his career. He was a really good catcher, all-star level, perennial all-star catcher, and he was never the same player.
And don't you think that's also the misconception? It was like, man, look how serious the players took the All-Star game in those days.
Yeah,
Pete Rose, that was how Pete Rose did it.
That was more.
Players
than one
didn't play
guy.
like that.
Right. Yeah. That's exactly right.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Murata. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.